in the actual fuck is anybody supposed to live when gas is that much? Like, are you fucking kidding me? I hate it here.
Guys, check that out. $6 a gallon. I told you guys that they were doing this. They're trying to be sneaky behind our backs. They're raising prices little by little, getting you used to it. But now look, we're here, Orange, California. $6 gas. I finally found it. This is in Orange County. This is not Los Angeles. Los Angeles is expected to be above $6. But in Orange County out here, now it's hit $6. You can expect LA to hit about $7, man. This is a travesty, man. They're bleeding out the middle class. And I've been telling you guys about this, but nobody seems to care.
Early afternoon, running some errands here. And we just stopped off to get some gas. And I just wanted to show this to all of you because this is all coming to a town near you. And I have to ask the question, how in the world are people going to continue to survive through this crisis when oil prices are exploding, gas prices exploding? Look at this. $6.39 for regular, $6.69 for Supreme. Look at that. Diesel $6.39. But I want you to take a look at that because that is coming to a town near you. $6.69 for super unleaded, $6.39 for diesel. How in the world? Somebody please explain to me how are people going to survive this? And guess what? Those gas prices are going to continue to go up. Think about how we have used up so much of our strategic petroleum reserves. Over 50% of our reserves have been used. And now look at what's happening at oil prices. And think about the cost to replace and replenish those reserves, if we can even do that, because it's much easier said than done. But if we can do it, look at the price of oil now. And it's going to continue to go up. And again, my question is, how in the world are people going to get through these rough times? This right here is already guaranteeing more inflation because everything takes gasoline and oil to be shipped, whether it's on a plane, a train, a boat, a semi-truck, a box truck, whatever. It's all going to take oil and gasoline to ship it. And at these prices, this is all going to be added on to everything on those shelves, everything at the grocery store. But the average person who has to commute to work, the small business owner that relies on gasoline and diesel to run their businesses, how in the world is the average person, average business owner, average household going to continue to survive through this economic crisis with this now happening? Now, it'd be a whole different story if, gasoline was $3 a gallon, people could breathe a little bit, but they're being absolutely suffocated, strangled by these oil prices now, and it's going to get much, much worse. And this is going to really have serious implications on the average household, the person commuting to work, the business owner. Everything relies on oil. This is literally the blood that flows through the veins of a country is oil. And it is getting so expensive, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know if we're ever going to catch a break here. How much worse is this going to get? I think it's going to get a lot worse.
Well, if you've filled up your tank recently, you probably know that gas prices are on the rise in California. Yeah, and it hurts, Bria.
Yeah, I was going to say the wallet is hurting for both of us. The current average for a gallon of gas in the Golden State, regular gas, is about $5.65. That's about 50 cents higher than it was just a month ago.
ABC 10's Bridget Biorlo joins us now live from a gas station in Sacramento's Curtis Park neighborhood. Bridget, is there any relief in sight?
That's the big question, Conchetta, and I hate to tell you, not looking like there's relief anytime soon in terms of gas prices in Sacramento. The average is $5.43 for a gallon of unleaded regular. That's below the state average, but if you're driving through Curtis Park, expect to pay even more for that. $5.84 for regular here, just over $6 for plus, $6.30 for premium. And I will say, typically, after the Labor Day holiday weekend, prices tend to go down, but that is not the case this year. That's because that winter winter grade crude oil, that winter grade gasoline that typically is available in the fall won't be available in California until around November. So get ready to pay much more for gas in the next couple of months. And we will also talk about that people are picking and choosing what to spend their money on. Do they spend money on going out? Do they spend money on extracurricular activities? Or do they stay home, wait it out for those prices to go down? Take a listen to some folks we spoke to over the weekend about how they're making those tough decisions.
Gas prices, it's way too much, you know. Last year, it used to take like $60, now $80, $85. I need to cut my other expenses to fuel my car.
I don't really go out that much anymore. It's just to go to work and that's it. Because like you don't want to go driving anywhere because you got to calculate how much you got to have in your account, how much you got to, you know, where you're going, put that into account. So yeah, it's definitely been hit in the pockets.
This is the time to think about how to stretch those pennies thin. If you want to save around 15 cents, consider paying cash or debit for your next gallon of regular. Take a look at that, $5.69 you could be spending versus $5.84. Something to consider if you want to save a few bucks at the gas.
Well, guess what? In Southeast Florida, gasoline is like $6.50 a gallon at one station. And you might think, why is it so expensive there? Well, you know why? Because they can. There is no law on the price of gasoline. They can charge whatever they want. Do you ever notice how you get closer to an airport, the price goes up? Because they can. They got you by the short and curlies. They know a bunch of people are bringing rental cars back. They got to bring it back full. If they don't bring it back full, then the stupid swines at the car rental places, they'll charge you $8 a gallon, $9 a gallon, whatever they want to fill it up. They rip you off at those local stations, right? And it's no different anywhere else. When I was in Death Valley, gas was $7-something a gallon. In Death Valley, because there's only 3 gas stations in Death Valley. They can charge whatever they want. If you drove only 40 minutes from Death Valley, 40 minutes, you're out of California, you were in Nevada. Instead of $7, gasoline was like $3.40 a gallon. And they can't say, well, it's transportation cost. It doesn't cost that much to transport it the extra 40 miles, right? And then they say, well, it's tax. The tax in California is more than the tax in Nevada. Yeah, and that's like maybe 15 cents a gallon more, not, $4 more. They can charge you whatever they want. They're private enterprises, right? So now some swine in a Shell station in Florida.
All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha-Rakah-Kodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abababal. So as you saw, the gas prices in California are going up, which they're also going up in Florida and other states. Us here in Colorado, I've seen an increase, and we're up to almost $5 a gallon. In certain areas, you might get like $4 a gallon, like 3 something, almost $4. But in most areas, you're paying 4 and some change, almost $5 a gallon. Which it's going to go up, and it's going to lead to famine. Alright, 2 Esdras 15 verse 1, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people. The Lord's people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which been scattered throughout the world in slavery. The words of prophecy, which the Holy Scriptures are prophetic. Alright, and the prophecies that been fulfilled, like the first coming of Yahweh Shai as the Messiah, is now history. Alright, but now there is more prophecy to be fulfilled, and this is fulfilling prophecy of the gas prices increasing, alright, which is going to lead to tribulation. It says, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So the Lord put us this word, and we are prophesying using the word. The word said what would happen, and the word said that, let me get it. It says in verse 18, 2 Esdras 15, verse 18, For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, right? So the pride of the so-called white race, starting with your elite, which control the money system, all right? They are wicked, so the whole world is in a wicked state. That's why all the people are mourning. And now the cities are troubled, right? They're not going to be able to, some people ain't even going to be able to go to work with the gas prices because their job don't pay them enough, let alone to pay rent and to live. But to pay the raising prices, this really what it is inflation, hyperinflation, because of the devaluation of the dollar. And that's what we're headed to, hyperinflation, which this is honestly a form of it, but it's only going to get worse to where the streets become violent. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, so these rising gas prices are another step towards this great tribulation that's going to play out in the last days in America. All right, which the whole world is in a state of chaos right now. But the main judgment is going to be carried out in America, which there is going to be famine. It says in 2 Esdras 15 verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. So this is the Lord doing this through man. All right, there's men that control these resources, which are wicked, and the Lord is controlling them to make it hard on the people in judgment. All right, because we're living in a world that is wicked. The people love darkness, and they hate the light. They hate the truth. So they're going to suffer great judgment. And part of that judgment is famine, death, and destruction. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the world's in a wicked state because the wicked are ruling. Job 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Which he lies about history. All right, he paints his image on so-called black men's images, just like he done to the Messiah. Right? He said that the Messiah was a so-called white man. So he said the Messiah was a so-called white man, which is a lie. Just like they lied about inflation being only a short period of time, saying that, they lie all the time. That's why you never trust your enemies, because they're going to lie to you in your face. See how they covered the faces of the judges thereof? All right? Because they hid the truth about the dark ages. And not only there, but even beyond that, They destroyed a lot of history trying to hide who they are, when in fact the so-called white race are the devil the Bible speaks of, all right? Which they rule the world in wickedness. America and the European Union, which they have their military might, which is NATO, all right? They are the dragon that is spoken of in the Bible, all right? And they rule over the world in their white supremacy, so-called white supremacy, but actually they're a red brute beast, all right? Which the Lord is going to destroy them because